Hello everyone, my name is SurrealBeliefs and welcome to Three Kingdoms Total War. I've played a little bit of the Yuan Shao campaign and I wanted to show you a few battles I fought during my gameplay. Yuan Shao is a powerful warlord who controlled the northern territories of China during the late Eastern Han Dynasty. He came from a long line of incredibly powerful family members who held various ministerial positions in the Han court. There was some contention between him and his half-brother Yuan Shao, who you'll deal with in the campaign as well. And that was over the origins of his parentage. Before Dong Zhao took power, there were these guys, the 10 attendants or 10 eunuchs. These were influential, corrupt officials who held power in the Han court. Though they were known as the 10, there were actually 12. They ended up killing a powerful Han leader named He Jin. Several leaders, including Yuan Shao and Shu, stormed the palace to kill the eunuchs. They also killed many innocent people as well. Dong Zhao soon after would swoop in and hold Emperor Qian hostage. Yuan Shao would later lead the coalition against him, but it would collapse from disunity. Yuan Shao and a character named Han Fu would end up having issues, disagreements, and you'll end up dealing with him in the campaign as well. He's a neighbor very close to you. The Yuan Shao campaign is a very interesting one based around alliances. You're able to easily form them, and only 2 characters in the game can form alliances in the very beginning. That is Yuan Shao and his half-brother Yuan Shu. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the fictional novelization of the Three Kingdoms era, he's painted as a charismatic leader, and his capability to form diplomatic alliances, again, is a core part of his identity. So right now you see that we're all carrying banners and we're heading straight into combat. I had my archers back here. I had a series of soldiers who were allowed to move in between my formation quickly. I was able to send in my spearmen right between my archers, and now we're trying to chase down all of those who are fleeing. Here is Yuan Shao. We also have a leader with us called Wen Chao, and he's another feared general under our leadership. Now let's go to another battle where we can talk a little bit more about the game, and I'll show you more gameplay as well. It's going to be much larger in size. Here we're actually fighting the Battle of Anping. We're fighting Han Fu and Dong Ru. As you can see here, we've got quite a few units. We outnumber him. What I really enjoy about the game is that I'm able to use tactics. Now, that's a very strange thing to say, but I don't have to just bunch in and use a bunch of powerful units to beat them. Even though we're playing in a romance type of gameplay, we still need to carefully manage our leaders. I usually like to have one of my commanders on foot to lead, personally, their own soldiers into combat. Let's go over my formation right now. As you can see, I have my archers on my left and right flanks. I've even divided them up a little bit. Wen Chao will be leading his own retinue. They'll be heading into combat very, very soon. Let's go to slow motion so that we can look at all of them. Here's Wen Chao. Now, if you do not know this, I'll let you know. I found out when I played, you can actually change the mount, armor, and weapons of your leaders. Meaning that not only can you change them, but they'll show up in the actual battles too. So it's not just a stat change, it's an actual gameplay change in the battles. It's a really beautiful map, and we're going to see much more of this game in the future as well. Let's go on and check things out. You can see that I have my mini units all over, getting ready to march into combat. The banners really add some flair to the game, and as you might see down below, it's currently a development in progress. We're not in a final form of the game, meaning that any issues you might see will be fixed by the time the game launches. The Three Kingdoms era of China is one of my favorite time periods of all time. Ever since I was a little boy, I've loved it so very much, whether it was the actual book, whether it was stories around it, TV shows, or even the games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Dynasty Warriors. All of it was incredible to me. Here are my 2 enemies. They're getting ready to head into combat as well. So when I found out that Three Kingdoms would become a game, I was so excited. And whenever I do play my campaigns, I will be talking about history to all of you. As I know it, many people do not know a lot about this time period, which is completely understandable. It's not something commonly taught. But trust me, if you're into things like a Game of Thrones, if you're into bloodshed stories, heroes, and all of that, you have it all here. So now we're just getting into position, and pretty soon we'll head into combat. There's also a duel that is currently taking place. We're gonna watch that play out for just a little while. Yuan Shao says, hey look, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna beat you up. Now while they fight, we're going to allow our units to begin attacking our foes. As long as I do not interrupt the duel in the middle of our formation, it'll be completely fine. We'll be able to destroy them. I love all the martial arts in here too, it's fantastic. I was playing Shogun 2, and I was like, man, I'm really missing detailed animations. And here we have so much going on. Not only that, you've got different weapons, meaning that you'll have different animations for those weapons as well. At least that is what I assume. Again, while they're fighting, we're moving our units into position. I'm going to go into slow motion briefly. That way we can go over what I'm doing right now. We can see that I've got my Jian infantry captain. He's leading men into combat. They've got better equipment. Over here we have my defenders of Hebei. Now they're quite bulky. They're eager, encouraged, and they're going to head straight into combat in just a little while. Currently, Yuan Shao is winning that battle. Wen Zhao is over here, and he's getting ready to charge in. He's a champion, and he's quite proficient in melee. They also have a lot of great abilities at blocking ranged attacks. Yuan Shao has one too. So here we go, in slow motion. She's fighting very hard, oh god. But it didn't quite work out. Yuan Shao is like, hey look, I'm pretty angry. I'm gonna kick you in the face. But again, while that is going on, we're gonna watch in a more cinematic view, just because it's pretty interesting to look at. I wanted to save replays, and I will be going through the Gongsun Zan campaign as well, at least the first few turns. That's more of a big tutorial though. I wanted to explain to people about the game and how it functions from, well, what I really understood during that time period. Now everyone is charging in. As you can see, we're beginning to surround them. They're completely outnumbered. They're not going to last for much longer, I'm sure. But we're hitting them everywhere, just clashing with their formations. And while all of that is going on, these two are still dueling. It's a long fight, but we do eventually beat her. She had no chance. Currently, my archers are trying to focus down on units that have no shields at all. They're getting hit very hard. Back here, we're going to have horsemen who are going to charge into combat after many archers. Wen Zhao is currently destroying them. And I always tell people, if you can phonetically tell me how to correctly pronounce a name, I'll do my best. I love learning how to properly pronounce names. It's really not an issue to me. I just need to know how. As you can see, we're holding at various locations, and I was able to flank my foes. We have a bigger group of units on my right flank. Battle plays on. I've got many talented leaders and units moving in. We have one group completely surrounded. That officer is not going to get very far. We can also hire retinues that do not have a named leader. You can just have some captain lead that group, meaning that you don't need to make everyone happy all the time. Whenever you have named characters, sometimes you've got to make them happy. As you can see right now, we have our enemies surrounded. They're in huge trouble. I know that they have their leader over here killing my poor archers, but we'll eventually kill more of them. Nice attack. So here we go. And as a reminder, if you want a film to hype you up, there's one directed by John Woo, well, two of them. Red Cliff Parts 1 and 2. It's based upon the Battle of Chi Bi. You'll see Sun Jian, you'll see Liu Bei, and Cao Cao as well. It's a really fantastic film, a lot of fun. And right now, my enemies are breaking. We have won the battle. They're all falling apart. We were able to completely annihilate them. That guy's like, hey, maybe I'll hold up for a little while. He's gonna hack that. And so many more are just being put down. At times I like to reform my formations, but what I really enjoy is how quickly I'm able to assume formations, and it feels like controlling your units is a touch easier in terms of just trying to place them, trying to size them. It's a little bit more intuitive and fast as well. We have various units moving on now. We've won another major fight. We just have to break them once and for all. We go look back here. Who do we have? Hanfu is currently fleeing. It's a really interesting campaign, and again, if you want to form alliances, if you want to use diplomacy to win your campaign, Yuan Shao is the right character to choose. We have a siege battle to go over as well, so we're gonna go load that in right away. Now we have the Battle of Liang. Liang and Wen Chao were great friends. Unfortunately, they wouldn't make it whenever they would fight Cao Cao and his army. But in my campaign, they will live on and prosper. Though we do outnumber them, they have walls, and I want to show you something very important about siege battles. No longer do we have a single wall to worry about. We indeed have a full town, and there are various parts to it. As you can see, it's quite a beautiful location. I want to show it off real quick before we head straight into battle. I used my sappers to blow apart a part of their wall. They have many units in here. Medium bow infantry. They're a bit more well armored than many of my units. Their armor is a bit more intense than what I have to offer. They have a gate over here, archers on the wall, but I have many more archers. I'll be using them to march into place and to hopefully destroy them. Usually, in previous games, I wouldn't divide up my men for fear of everyone breaking quickly. But here, it's actually effective to do so. I feel confident in doing so. I'm leaving my 4 groups of horsemen back here. They will charge in later. I've got a captain who's currently leading a bunch of axemen. And over here on my right flank, Liang. I have him on foot. So our goal is to use our archers in the very beginning. We'll begin to creep up slowly until we can hit them. As you can see, there's a massive gap in the wall, and we're about to annihilate a few of our enemies. They're waiting right over here in a gap. Now they're being hit by many arrows. They didn't run off in time, otherwise they would have died quickly and easily. Here's the broken wall. My goal is to now go after those archers who are here. They have decent armor. You can even starve out your foes too if you choose to. There are many new options in how you can approach a siege battle. They do have great cover, so my goal is to kill as many as I can. Sure, I'll lose many arrows, but at least I can weaken them further. And the game is quite beautiful. I'm sure you've noticed, but look at the detail in the game. The detail in just seeing rain fall down on the stones, and not only that, the ground looks wet. They brought in some more units. Unfortunately for them, they're being hit as well. I can tell you, the leaders are fantastic, and I like the retinues. I have over 2,000 men. It doesn't feel like a lot whenever you have one gigantic unit card in the form of your leader, but when you have over 2,000 men, hey, you can recruit even more if you want to. Like in the very beginning, I can have 3 armies total as a noble, meaning that would be over 6,000 men in one battle. That's a lot of men to manage. I'm not counting horsemen and all of that. So now they're moving over here. I'm already moving up, as you can see. I'm bringing up many of my infantrymen. My archers are continuing to break them down. As they move over here, we are wiping them out. They do have shields, meaning that they can hold for a period of time. They're pretty decent at missile deflection. But I've got to go in too to go kill them. I love having my leaders lead them into combat. I've got one unit that will begin to climb up on the walls. They actually have animations where they throw hooks right up here. And now they're going to try to get onto the walls where we have more medium bow infantry. As you can see from behind, there's been some damage incurred by that town. My archers are still attacking, and many more of their infantrymen are dying. You think they would break already, but they still hold on. We even have a group that's beginning to sally out. They're trying to sally out to flank those who are on the wall. There's some friendly fire, as you can see. But I'm killing many more of my enemies, and they should break very soon. Currently, my units are on the wall. Usually, in a previous title, units that lost that many men and climbed a wall would probably quickly break. No, they're still here. They're still here and fighting on the wall, meaning that I can take out their archers. That's really what I wanted to do. We have more units on the way. We have horsemen back here that I've got to watch out for. They're very powerful. Trust me, if you want to have a great charge, use some horsemen. They're very effective. And now, a forecast of rain on those who are left. There's very, very few left. Later, I'll try to capture the gate over here so I can move in. I have my own units beginning to move into the gap so that we can begin to engage and destroy more of our enemies. My goal is to try to engage their horsemen. Sure, I might lose some units due to the archers they have over here, but largely I'm in a good solid position to fight them and kill them. Wait, who are all of you? Random people just walking around? Pardon? Or are they guards where you can't just sneak in? I actually have no idea who these guys are. I didn't even see them in our previous fight. So before we go on, let's go into slow motion and find out if we have more. Get out over here. Just over there. I'm beginning to discover more and more things as I play on. Alright. Now we can go back. As you can see, I've got Liang right over here. He's fighting currently. If you want to look at him, we can go ahead and look at his stats real quick. Morale, melee charge bonus, melee damage base, melee evasion base, armor base, hit points, melee attack rate, and much more. He's only level 2 right now. So I'm bringing in my units. We're taking over up here. And my goal is to go after these archers to finally destroy them in the battle. So you let me know what you think about the game, how you like it. I'm really intrigued by it. I want to play more and see more. It's very hard for me to give my opinion on a game based off of a few hours of gameplay when it's a fairly complicated game. It's like playing Imperator Rome. I had to play it for a good week before I knew that I absolutely loved it. So over here, I'm going to keep on sampling and trying. And so far, I'm enjoying what I'm playing. I'm enjoying all the diplomacy. There are so many new quality of life features. There's more complexity to the game than there was before, especially in comparison to previous titles. So I'm very pleased to see that Total War is finally beginning to advance. You can even have a transition from day to night while playing. If you want to, you can have it change via real time. If you do it via real time, it means if it's nighttime where you live, it'll be nighttime in the game for as long as it's nighttime where you live. So now I'm bringing some men out. My goal is to try to bring in my horsemen, as I would like to destroy their many, many archers. So now they're going to charge in to help me out. I've got a few infantrymen right over here and more of my horsemen that are beginning to move in. They have units right over here that are beginning to charge out. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Here they come. And already they're breaking down people. Now my goal is to charge in further. If we can charge in further and kill a few more, that's an ideal thing. It's a fantastic thing. It's something that will help me out quite a bit. So we've done so right over here, and as you can see, their archers are falling apart right now. I know that I probably won't want to stop until I've spoken about every single historical character that I care about in Three Kingdoms. That's a lot of them. I like them all. Alright, there we go. The battle is finally over. As you can see, we're beginning to run them down. They also have defensive emplacements. They have barricades. And we're gonna go check out the campaign map where I'm at right now. I've just been kind of fiddling around, finding out how things work. And here's my campaign map right now. We'll go over a few mechanics of Yuan Shao's campaign. I've been spending my time conquering my neighbors. If I wanted to, I could have conquered more, but I was trying to just learn a little bit more about how to build out my own kingdom. I find myself zooming out quite a bit and using all the filters up here. In previous games, I didn't really do that, but here I do. So here's my ownership filter showing my lands right up north. I've got Gongsun up to the northeast, Liu Bei over here, and Cao Cao to the south. Attitudes? Well, as you can see, I've got friends to the northeast, southeast, and south. To the west, I have many foes who would like to one day fight me. My half-brother and I will eventually go to war. In terms of diplomatic status, I've allied Cao Cao, and I'm about to go over diplomacy in just a minute. We've got wealth, population, public order, and food. If you want a faction that has many military supplies and food, Yuan Shao is a perfect campaign for you. Let's go over here to diplomacy. So whenever you try to strike a deal with another faction, you can choose a quick deal or negotiate. Let's say you just want to find people who want to have a non-aggression pact. Just click on it. It'll show you who will say yes right away. It'll show you those who might say yes if you just kind of give them a little bit of stuff. And let's go find out what we need to do in order to have one with a character like my half-brother, Yuan Shao. We'll go to negotiate deal.
Why must we speak?
Instead of just saying, hey, I wonder what he could take, I can find out right away by clicking on make this work. You can even see your negative factors. So now we're able to find out what he wants over here for a non-aggression pact. It's money. He wants money from me. We're not going to do it right now, and that's okay. We do have a unique feature over here called lineage. Lineage is used to recruit new characters and for the unique settlement occupation options that we have. That's whenever you conquer a town and you've got a few extra options that will allow you to get more supplies and other benefits too. And let's see here. Lineage is gained from all members of alliances and coalitions that this faction has initiated. High lineage reduces recruitment costs for captain retinues and increases replenishment as well. I'm going to show you a captain retinue right now. If we zoom in, I've already gotten rid of one of them. It's time for me to recruit a third retinue. So instead of going for a named character that I might have to keep happy, and it will take me more time to get more units on the field of battle, as I only get 2 in the very beginning until I recruit more, I can come over here to captains. Sure, there's some upkeep and a larger initial cost, but guess what? I've got all these new units over there. They're quite effective to have, especially if you want to field massive armies. So that's what I'll be doing. Over here, I've got my faction summary. You can see all of my information. I have over 3 million people under my command. We've got 8 years of rule. I've got 5 commanderies. And what is a commandery? A commandery is basically an administrative unit used by the court. So in our case, we often use a county, or in my old home state, a parish. All right, so we can see some more information about what we specialize in. As we know, we have lineage. We're able to forge alliances in the very beginning, which is unique to our character, Yuan Shao and Yuan Shao. And as you can see over here, improves occupation option to reinforce and resupply. After a victorious siege, various occupation options are available. Yuan Shao has access to a unique option that provides better military supply and increased faction support after occupation, which is right over here, secure. It gives me more replenishment and military supply gain. Over here we have Yuan Administration Office. Income goes up from all sources, more public order, and more lineage. Then we have a few unique units. We even begin with one, Defenders of Hebei. They're very powerful. Over here we have Captain Retinues. As you can see, we've got, instead of heroic characters, Yuan Shao can employ lower ranked officers and captains who lead retinues of various unit compositions. Then we have Warriors of Yi as well. So, you might not have all the most powerful warriors in the world under your command, but you'll be able to overwhelm your foes with many armies. I mean, I have nearly 3 full armies. I got rid of 1 retinue to show you how to recruit one. and I still have a decent amount of income coming my way. Well, that is going to be it for right now. I'm going to show you a little bit more of the map before we go, but I hope that all of you enjoyed this preview. If you did, do not forget to leave a like and comment right down below, and as always, until then.